Sorry guys, I've had to restart this like 3 times for those who are waiting, but I think I've got this. I'm going to be looking down here to read your comments off my computer. Let me just set it up real quick. I hope you're all doing well. It's Friday, so I'm excited about that. I'm happy about that. Let me set up real quick the place where I'll be reading the comments, if there are any comments. In the meantime, I'll also wait for some more people to join in. The video will stay up on the channel, so if you miss it, or if you can't go through the whole video, if you need to be somewhere, don't worry about it. You can still watch it later. I'm making a video every day for Vlogmas. For those who don't know what Vlogmas is December. It's this time of the year where we make videos every single day, some YouTubers. So this year, for the first time, after being on YouTube for over 4 years, I decided to give it a try. The idea was to make for you YouTube shorts like every day, but I'll be coming in live often. Let me try and get this going. So I'll be coming in live, discussing different topics every day. And so if you have some topics you want me to discuss, please let me know. Flavia is already here. I wish to watch to the end, but I'm still at work. No worries, Flavia. No problem at all. So as you have seen from the title of the video, or if you haven't seen, we are going to be talking about friendships. So we're going to be talking about friendships. It's also inspired from a conversation that I had yesterday. One, it's something that's very close to my heart. If you know me, you know that I take my friendships seriously. I take them as seriously as I would take a romantic relationship. And so this is really something that I'm talking about from the heart. But also, it was mostly triggered by a conversation I had yesterday on my Instagram. If you don't follow me on my Instagram, my handle is Linda Tina TV. I will leave my the link to my Instagram in the description box so that you guys can join in on my lives on Instagram and my stories and, you know, have these conversations with me because I'm very active there. Anyway, so there was this post that talked about cutting off people and deleting people off your social media and off your contact list and off, you know, just cutting them off and making them disappear without telling them a word. And so many people are in support of this post and some people not. And I thought, okay, this is an interesting conversation because I feel like it's very subjective and we are going to get into that. Let me just see who's here. Flavia, much love. Thank you, Flavia. Thank you, darling. So anyway, I thought we could talk about friendships and relationships, basically, not just friendships like best friends, but just relationships we have with people and how we relate to them and my opinions. Disclaimer, these are my personal opinions, so obviously I'm not pushing these opinions on anybody. You may share them with me, you may agree to disagree, and we can do that diplomatically as adults. Now, I'll give you a little history about my friendships just to get perspective of where I am in this conversation, okay? I have had beautiful friendships. I must say that for the bigger part of my life, I've had beautiful friendships. I'm an ambivert, meaning I am an extrovert who has introvert tendencies. Most people who see me, who don't know me so well, will take me for an extrovert because my extrovert side is pretty out there because it's that extrovert side. But those people who know me well know that I also like to spend time on my own. So anyway, I'm saying this just to let you know that I have no problem making friends. I have no problem creating relationships with people, with strangers. I actually like talking to strangers. I talk to people on the bus, on the streets. I'll go to a cafe for a coffee and I'll talk to people there like, you know, I've known them. I can be intrusive, which makes some people uncomfortable. I'm into deep conversations. So usually after the small talk, I'll be asking you about real life things and I'll be asking you about your life, which some people may not really appreciate that much. But anyway, I've never had trouble making friends throughout school. Some people liked me, some people didn't. But usually those who did, we clicked it off and it was nice. And those who did not like me, maybe I didn't even know, so I didn't really care. And so I've never had problems making friends. When I was in primary school, I had a best friend. We were neighbors, and then we outgrew each other. Then I went to high school. High school, I had my high school best friend, who we also kind of outgrew each other because distance and different lifestyles. Shout out to you, Sheila. She's still my good friend, and we are in touch. And she's the one person who tells me things as they are. If I'm not looking great, she'll tell me, girl, you are not looking great. So she's one of my realest people. And then after my O levels, I went into A levels. I made some new friends. So I've been making different friends as I grow and as I go along in life. The most serious friendships I had, I think, were when I was older, when relationships have more like to them than just staying in the dormitories and studying, or I was in a boarding school, that's why I mentioned dormitories. But I mean, the most serious relationships I had, I think, were mostly in uni and after uni, because then you're doing more serious things, you're starting to date and getting to know, the real world as it is, and you're sharing more things with your friends. So the first serious relationship I had actually with my friend, who was a very good friend to me. She was like a sister. So just to make you understand how I feel about friendships, for me, my friends become family. When we get so close, you become family. When I let you in my home, in my world, in my family, in my actual biological family, you become family, and that's how seriously I take my friendships. So I had a friend who actually to me was a sister. She came from being a friend to a sister. And I think that's the first fallout I've had with a friend. I've had fallouts, I've had little fights with friends, but because I think these friendships never meant that much, when we fell out, and it was kind of forgotten and we just moved along, But this particular person, actually, I had a fight with one of my very, very good friends. She's also a friend from high school, and then we went into uni, and we spent some months without talking to each other. And then we somehow started talking again, and we even forgot why we had fought in the first place, because usually I'm this kind of person who's going to talk about things and squash them first before we can start a new friendship, like we can renew that friendship. I'll get into that conversation later, because it's one of the main things that I want to talk about, communication in friendships. So anyway, this first fallout, I wanted to tell you about my first fallout with a friend, because to be honest, I haven't really fallen out with many friends. Most of the friendships that have not lasted, that are not close to date, that the bonds have kind of become, less close, is because we changed countries and lifestyles, and we're kind of doing different things with our lives, so we stopped relating to each other. But some have stuck, actually. I'll also get into that later. So anyway, this fallout was with a friend who, I don't know, for some reason she cut me off, because I don't know. Well, later we talked about it, and I understood, and she also talked to my sisters about it, that it's because maybe I changed. By change, it's because I got married, I moved countries, I had a son at that time. So maybe our lifestyles were not relating so much, and she felt like I was judging her for not maybe taking the same path that my life was taking. She was kind of still doing the things we used to do before, and maybe I wasn't still doing those things. I wasn't doing those things anymore. And that's how the friendship kind of fell apart. But there was never a conversation about it. So she literally just ghosted me. What happened is, I felt like I was always the one texting this person, like pushing for the friendship to last. The distance was there, so it was important for us to keep communicating. But I was the one always, how are you doing? Because I love to communicate. Yeah, I love to keep in touch with people when I can, obviously. And so I said to myself one day, you know what? I'm always the one looking out for this person, checking on this person, texting this person. I'm not going to text anymore. Let's see what happens. You know what happened? It was 3 years. 3 years before I heard from this person from that time. 3 years. So she literally just went silent. Day one passed, day two, day three, week one, week two, week three, month one, month two, month three, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. But at first I thought, okay, maybe she just didn't feel like the friendship mattered anymore. But then she was still kind of in touch with my family. She was still in touch with my family and my other siblings. So I thought, okay, so the problem is me. It's me who is being put on the side. She was still very much in touch with my family because I had introduced her into my family and she was really family. To me, she was family. And so, yeah, she's still a part of my family actually. And that was the first fallout I had. And then the other friendships I've had that have not stuck from way back then are friendships that just faded away. You know, when you kind of, especially when you move away. I moved away and came to Italy from Uganda. I left many of my friends there. Somehow the friendships just slowed down, the communication slowed down, and that's that. So moving forward, now as a mom, as a person living abroad, you know, I'm living in Italy. I've met new people who are kind of doing the same things that I'm doing, who understand my current lifestyle. And that's how I met even my best friend. So she lives in Italy, and you know, we clicked because one, we were living in the same country. We understood the dynamics of this country and the struggles of living in this country. And so we kind of clicked like that and became friends on Facebook. So we were friends on Facebook before we ever physically met with my friend, with this best friend of mine, but we kind of clicked and understood each other. And yeah, then I have very many other friends that are really close to my heart and we relate in different ways. Ever since way back, I've always felt like having one best friend is too much of a burden to one person. Putting all that on one person, I feel like it's too much. But I've come to realize that it's possible to actually have 1, 2, 3 people that you actually put the bigger part of your life to and open up to, because it's not easy to open up to people, just anyone. Now, the big question that was being discussed is when you feel a friendship is draining you or it has done its time, how do you dissolve that friendship? Do you go and tell this person, you know what? I feel like this friendship is not working anymore, so let's call it quits. Do you just ghost them and just don't pick their calls and don't reply messages? Or how do you guys navigate it? Let me see if there's anyone online who is saying anything about that. No, at the moment, okay, there's no one at the moment, so I'll just tell you what I think. So personally, I feel like when you have a friend who has actually been your good friend, I'm not talking about friends who are just people you know, because that's the thing. We confuse friend with someone you know. They are friends, and then there are people you know or people you just spend time with, but they're not really your friends. They're just people you know, acquaintances, you know. But if someone is really your friend and they do something to you, they offend you, how do you navigate that? Do you just cut them off or do you talk to them? I am of the opinion that you go out and talk to these people. Ask them why they did what they did and tell them that you didn't like it and tell them why you didn't like it. They may agree with you, they may not agree with you. And from there, you can make a decision to keep them in your life or not keep them in your life. You can even let them know that, you know what, this friendship is not working for us because of A, B, C, D. And so I would prefer if we just cut contact or, you know, like each other, care for each other from afar. I don't believe in ghosting people. And this goes even for romantic relationships. Because, first of all, I'm so heavy on communication that I feel it eases things. It gives everybody closure. You who has been hurt and the other person who has hurt you, and also not to make the same mistakes, then I think it also gives the relationship a chance, because so many things get lost in translation. So I'll give you a story with my best friend once, and how I learned this lesson. Actually, she taught me a lot about this, because we had a fight once. We went on a getaway and we had a fight. And I was usually this kind of person who, you know what, if you want to be in my life, you be in my life. If you want to go, go, keep it moving, go, go, go. You know, I felt like I don't have to work on anything or anybody to stay in my life. I was wrong. At least right now, I feel like I was wrong. Some people are worth keeping in your life, and also no man is an island. It's become a trend. It's become fashionable to cut people off. You know what? I can do it on my own, so I don't care. But I think we should care more about the relationships and the connections we make, more than, you know, just feeling like we can do things on our own. Like, we need relationships, but they have to be healthy for you. So I'm going to get there. It's okay not to want someone in your life. It's okay if you feel this person is draining you. You know, there are people you can stay around and feel like they are really draining you emotionally, and you can't deal with them. You can cut them off. You can cut them off, and that's fine. But I'm going back to the story I was telling you about. So we had a fight with my friend where I felt disrespected as a person, as a friend, as a human being. And I just didn't feel like discussing it with this person anymore. So after this getaway, she went back to where she lives. I came back to where I live. And she wanted to talk about it. But to be honest, first, I didn't feel ready to talk about it, because I'm the kind of person who needs my time as well to kind of put things in perspective and then get back to you. Even in my romantic relationships, even in my marriage, we're not going to have a fight now and then you start pushing me to talk about things. Give me time to kind of make sense of what happened, and then we can talk about it. Anyway, she's a very good communicator as well, so she kept pushing for us to talk, and I kept, you know, blocking her and not replying her messages, and I just didn't feel like talking. Now looking back in retrospect, that was very toxic of me, because she just wanted to talk. She was not telling me that I must be her friend. She was not telling me that she's forcing me to be friends, but she said, can we talk about it? Can I understand how I offended you? And I'm sorry, actually, if I offended you. I don't feel like I offended you as much as you got offended, but I want to say I'm sorry, and can we talk about it? For over a month, it was 3 weeks or something, I did want to know about it. And in my mind, I thought, okay, that was not necessary. I had already gotten over it. I wasn't angry anymore. But I was still just trying to block communication, and that was toxic. That was emotionally immature of me. This is what I think. Why do I think this? Because later I was like, you know what, let me just talk to this girl, you know, and just hear what she has to say. And we talked, and when we talked about it, it was resolved in like 5 minutes. Like 5 minutes into the conversation, we understood that no one meant to hurt the other person. She understood why I felt offended. I understood why she didn't think it was offensive. She apologized. I apologized for also, you know, going crazy, like snapping just like that, because I treated her in a kind of not very nice way. You know, I kind of like treated her like she doesn't exist, for someone who has been very close to you. And anyway, moving forward, we are still friends, close friends, and that's it. So I realized how important this communication was. This is someone I could have lost just because I didn't want to communicate, just because I felt, oh, I'm too offended and I can't talk to this person. And that's why for me communication is very important. Hi Mina Jenna, hi Carl. Hi guys, we're talking about friendship, and we're talking about how to relate with our friends. So I was just giving a story of something that happened with my friends, with my past friendships, and I was, you know, giving perspective of where I stand when it comes to friendships and all. And you can let me know what your opinions are. I'll be reading them here. So anyway, moving forward, I also have another friend that we were not best friends. We were just friends, and we were getting to know each other, and we were getting closer. And this person omitted some information that I personally thought was information she could have given me, because it's information I kind of needed, and we had talked about it, and I learned from someone else that she had this information and she hadn't given it to me. And because I prefer to communicate, I wrote to her. I wrote a message to her. I also like writing, to put my to say things. I usually like to write. It gives me time to think about what I'm saying, and it also gives the other person time to think through what I just said. So anyway, I write to her and I tell her, I was surprised that you withdrew this information, or you omitted this information, which you knew that could be useful. Blah 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 blah. And this person didn't see anything wrong with what she had done. And I told her, you know what, if you don't see why what you did could not have been the right way to do it, then I guess we have a different way we see this friendship and a different way we handle friendship. So maybe this friendship may not work. And I don't remember, it's many years ago, so I don't remember what she replied. But basically what happened is I let her know, and she told me that she didn't tell me directly like that, but she told me in a way that I don't agree with you. I don't see anything wrong with what I did. And she also said, you know what, you're hearing very many different, oh no, yeah, because also some people had told me things she had said about me, maybe not being the friend she wanted me to be. So I told her, do you really doubt my friendship and how I feel about you and the kind of friend I am to you? And she told me, no, it's not true. So anyway, we went back and forth about this, but I realized, and maybe she realized as well, that we weren't on the same page. This said person is still my friend, but that changed our friendship. So what I'm trying to say is that no one is forced to be in your life if the friendship is not working anymore. We are still friends, but we are not as close as maybe how we could have been, because we realized we are on different we're on different wavelengths, and maybe we see friendships differently, and that's fine. So that brings me to my next conversation. I think it's very important to also understand each other's love languages. The same love languages they talk about in romantic relationships, what your friends' needs are and what your needs are. I think it's important for friends to communicate these things to each other. I don't know, what do you guys think? Let me see if someone is saying something before we continue, before I get so caught up in the conversation. Carl is saying, try having a friend that can't be wrong, but you've known them for 21 years. It can be hard. Amina Sewali, whoa, needed to hear this. Thank you, Linda. Did she promise someone else not to say anything? That's the thing. Oh, Carl, you've had a friend for 21 years and they can't be wrong. But you see, this is what I think. I think that we are not perfect as human beings. So you're not going to be the best person and the best friend in the world, and I'm not going to be the best friend in the world. So how about we accept each other's faults and see, am I okay being your friend with those flaws that you have? And are you okay being my friend with my flaws? If we can both accommodate each other's flaws, I think that friendship can work. So maybe, Carl, that is the kind of friendship you have with this person. I'm glad that you're happy to hear this conversation, Amina. Let me know what you think. Carl is asking, did she promise someone not to say anything? So the thing is, it's not that she said something to other people. It's information she withdrew from me that I felt was important that she told me this information. It's not information about someone else. It's information about general things that we needed to do. But it was important information for me to be able to do some things, and she just didn't tell me. It's like when there is a job opening. Just an example to put the situation in perspective. Just like you would know there's a job opening and your friend is looking for that particular job and you don't tell them, and they're looking for that particular job, and there is this opening and you don't tell them. Personally, that makes me question our friendship. Like, really? Who are you? And are you loyal to me as a friend? So anyway, yeah, that's what happened. So now going back to what I was saying earlier about love languages, I think it's very important that you know your love language and you know how you want your friendship to work. So I've always had very many friends, now that I'm old, I don't think they were all really my friends, but I've always known very many people because I'm outgoing. I'm a social person and I love people. I just love people. I love getting to know new people. I am one of those people who's always open to knowing new people and knowing new people. Sometimes it's too much, to be honest, but I can accommodate it because I love people and it gives me good energy. If you're a good person, I am all for getting to know you. So I've always had all these many friends, and my family and people who are close to me have always told me, you know what, Linda? They've told me two things. One is that, how do you know who's loyal to you when you have all these people? How do you pick out who is the loyal one and who is not the loyal? You're surrounded with so many people and it's very dangerous for you. You're going to get hurt. And the second thing is, how do we know you are loyal? Because if you're friends to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 people, how do I know, you know, if I am, like, where am I in all these people as your friend? And to be honest, I understand both things, you know. I've been warned about this by my family. They've been telling me, you get so close to people, you let so many people into your life and you're gonna get hurt. Thank God, touch wood, until now I have not been crazily hurt by any friends just because just because I'm getting to know so many people. I've not had these crazy things being done to me by friends. If they're doing them behind my back and I don't know, well, I don't know. But I understand how someone can question your loyalty when you're friends to very many people. But this is the thing. I tell people my friendships work for me, but this is me, so I'm speaking as Linda Tina. Different people have different ways they work with their friendships. So what it is for me is I relate differently with different people. Okay, so this lets me have different levels of friendships with different people. I have friends. I don't know if I should call them friends or people I know, but let's call them friends, because for me, if I'm going to be in touch with you every now and then, I care about you, so you're my friend. I have friends that I talk to about children because we get each other in that sense, how we're raising our kids, about being mothers. I have friends that I party with because they are a vibe. They are a vibe. I have friends that I talk about, I don't know, crazy conversations. You know, one of those conversations you're going to have and other people are going to look at you like, oh my God, you don't talk about things like that. But I have friends who are open-minded and they're free and they're okay to have these candid conversations. I have friends who are just how do they call them? Homebodies, who are homebodies and they like to be at home. And so we have this connection, we have this friendship. But when it's time to go out, I'm not gonna party with them because they just don't wanna party. You know, so I have different friends. And then I also have friends in different age brackets. I have way older friends than me. I have friends who are much younger than me. I have friends in my age bracket. And so sometimes it's different relationships for different people. So when someone has very many friends or knows very many people, it doesn't mean they are not loyal people, because I've seen those memes and those posts online where they say, oh, a person who has very many friends cannot be trusted. It means they have no friend at all. I don't believe that. I believe you can have different friends and relate with them differently. I don't know what you guys think. So there is that. And then there is also the point of knowing how much into my life I let people in. You understand? I know so many people. I have so many friends, but they all don't have the same access to me, to my family, to my home, to my innermost sentiments. You know, not every person should have that access to you. And this is what I'm also here to tell you guys. People talk about friendships working and not working. Sometimes friendships are not working because you give people access that they don't deserve in your friendship, in your life, you know? And so if you give people this access, you're giving them access to hurt you. You're giving them access to do things to you that if you had kept them a little farther away, they wouldn't have given you. So I know how I relate with my people. I know how far I'm going to let you in and how far I'm going to let you know about my innermost things that maybe I don't want other people to know about. And so there is also that. Let me read some of your comments. Carl, I used to say if you want something loyal, get a dog. I hear you. So, Petwa, friends because of nationality. Thank you. So there are people, especially now that I live abroad, there are people who are my friends because we are all Ugandans living out here. But maybe if we had met in Uganda, maybe we wouldn't even have been friends. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but I mean it in the way that different life circumstances are going to bring you to different people in your life, which is great, because maybe if you weren't in those circumstances, you'd miss out on these friendships. That's a good point. Hi, Rose. Hey, gorgeous. Good afternoon. Where are you from? Carl, I'm from Uganda, East Africa. So XP Life, I agree with relating with different people in different ways. Yeah. Let's see, same applies to abusive family members. That is a topic for another day. Should we make another live talking about boundaries with family members? Because that's sensitive, but it's very real. So let's stick to friendships right now. And I was talking about love languages. Okay, now let's go back to understanding who your friends are and when to cut people off. The famous cutting off people that's all over the internet that triggered this conversation. I don't believe in cutting people off without letting them know. And this is also in romantic relationships. Very many people may agree or not agree with this, but for me, cutting off people, any kind of relationship, is immature and it's being emotionally and toxic. It's being emotionally immature and toxic. I mean, just let me know what I've done. Let me know what I've done. When this friend of mine that I talked about earlier cut me off, it hurt so bad, but it didn't even hurt so bad that I had lost the relationship. Well, that hurt. But it hurt more that she felt I didn't deserve to know what I did. So I felt like that was something that damaged our relationship. Even if we are still friends now, that changed very many things. You understand? Someone, while we were having this conversation on Instagram, mentioned that when someone is being a bad friend to you, or when they're bitching around, or when they're being toxic to you, they know what they're doing, so there's no need to talk to them. Well, if they know what they're doing, check them on that stuff. Have the conversation and tell them, you know what? When you make those jokes about, I don't know, my hair, I don't like it. When you make those jokes about, I don't know, my face, I don't like it. So talk to them and check them on that toxic behavior that they have. Check them on that. And then also, no one is forced to be friends, because I feel like people think that when you have conversations with them about these things, you're forcing the friendship. The thing is, you're not forcing the friendship, but you're letting people know, and you're giving yourself closure as well. I've talked to this person, they're willing or not willing to change, and so that's it. And then also, like I mentioned earlier, there are people who drain you. They haven't done anything to you, but they're just some people who you don't feel good around. If you don't feel good around these people, what you can do, if you don't want to be confrontational, because not everyone is ready to go up to someone and have these confrontational conversations, you can just cut down on the time you see them, on the occasions you're in the same space. Remain cordial, but don't invite them to your things, and don't accept their invites, politely not accept their invites. Which for me still, I don't know, tell me what you guys think. For me, it still feels like avoidance. I'd rather just tell you so that you know why I'm not coming to your birthday party. I'd rather just tell you, you know what? I feel like our friendship is just not vibing that much. Someone once told me that. So there was this lady that was my friend. We met on Instagram, and we used to hang out. She lived in a different town, so we used to hang out, not so often, but we used to hang out. But she used to see me hanging out with other people without inviting her, because most times it was impromptu. Like, it would be like a happy hour, and an hour before we're like, oh guys, let's have a drink. And she would see me hanging out with these people, and she would tell me, oh, so you're not inviting me, but you're inviting your other friends. And I'm like, you live 3 hours away, 2 hours away. If I invite you, it will take you like the same time we're going to be seated in this place to come. But I think she saw it like I didn't prioritize our friendship. She came up to me straight up and told me, you know what? I feel like our friendship is not progressing. And so this is it for me. To be very honest, in that moment, I was like, what? I thought we had a good thing going. We saw each other when we saw each other. I didn't feel like there was any bad energy between us. But maybe the friendship I was giving her was not the friendship she expected or she felt she deserved. And she felt it was better not to be my friend. So she cut me off. She deleted me off her Instagram. She stopped calling me. She just cut me off. But she told me, she was at least open enough. She came up front and told me, you know what, I feel like our friendship is not progressing. Honestly, up to now, I don't know what kind of progress she expected from this friendship. I was not very happy with it. I thought it was very petty. But thinking about it now, I'm like, you know what? She didn't feel like the friendship was working for her. So she came up and told me. And I think I really respect that. I respected that. And that brings me back to the topic of love languages. Sometimes you're not going to be the friend that the other person wants, deserves, expects, and you are, and they are also not going to be that person you want them to be for you, and that's fine. Let's not force relationships. If it's not working, I think that's very fine. If it's not working, that's fine. Let it go. Let it go. But I feel like most of my relationships actually have a natural way of fading out. If a relationship is meant to be, you'll always find your way back together. If a relationship is not meant to be, if it's changing because of distance, change of lifestyle, it will kind of fade away on its own. Usually it happens naturally. I believe this. I believe in this natural energy. Anyway, let me see what some of you guys are saying. Carl, I'm in UK. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you, and thanks for checking me out and being on here. I hope you're already subscribed to my channel. Root of, so you mean convenience friendships? If you befriend someone just because you share nationality. No. Don't get me wrong. I don't mean by convenience relationships like you call them, but yeah, it's very personally, I'm going to be very frank. I think it's very, what's the right word to use? It's going to, you're expecting too much if you're expecting all your friendships to hit all these levels of intimacy with you. I don't mean that intimacy, but I mean all these levels. You want a friend who's going to be able to jump on a plane for you when you need it. You want a friend who's going to be able to talk to you about your family, even if they don't have kids. You want a friend you're going to be talking to about kids. You want a friend you're going to be talking to about dating, even if they're not in the dating world. You want a friend who's going to be talking about your philosophy, even when they're not into that. It's okay. I talk to my best friend about everything, but that doesn't mean she's interested in everything. And just because I'm your friend because we met in certain circumstances, it doesn't mean that you're my friend for that convenience, but it means that's what brought us together. Agree to disagree, rules, but I feel like, yeah, you can have friendship. I don't like the word you've used about convenience relationships because that sounds like I'm only your friend because of that. I'm not only your friend because of that, but that is what brings us together. I don't know if that makes sense. Petra is saying, I'm also not a confrontational person, but really at times you see someone taking you for granted, feeling superior, bringing you down. Does such a person deserve an explanation? I mean, I think they do. They don't deserve, it's not that they deserve an explanation, but you need to check them on that stuff. If they're putting you down and taking you for granted, that is the more reason for you to tell them upfront, I don't like the way you're treating me. That's what I think. Hi Freda from Zambia. How are you? Thanks for joining. Mugisha Caroline. Oh, hi Caroline. This was my friend from high school. Hi girl. Rachel. Hi Rachel, I'm late. What can I say? Don't tell your friend your business. Rachel wants to ask a question. Yes, go ahead, ask the question. So you're saying don't tell your friend your business. what level of friendship are we talking about? Because if we are really good friends, I think we're sharing some of our business. Isn't that what friendship is about? So that's the other thing. If you have friends, but you're tiptoeing around them and you don't trust them, why are they your friends again? So again, I like people, I love people, but if I don't feel comfortable with you, of course I'm not going to tell you things I'm not comfortable telling you. Period. If you're a friend who, I always say this actually, it's very good to know who our people are and to take them to take them the way they are. If I have a friend who's very careless with money, who I know if I lend them money, they're not gonna bring it back, or they probably bring it back in bits and pieces that won't make me happy, I'm not gonna lend them money. But this goes with family members or anybody else. I'm going to relate to you with how I understand you are as a person. So you're not good with money. You're probably never going to pay me back. I'm not going to give you money so that we can maintain this other friendship we have that doesn't involve our flows and things that are going to ruin the friendship. If you're the kind of friend who, I don't know, doesn't know how to keep their mouth shut, there are people who have this weakness. We all have our weaknesses. There are people who have this weakness. They just can't keep their mouth shut. So I know that if I tell you something, it's going to be out there on the streets. I can stay your friend. I can still be your friend. You can still be my person. But I'm not going to tell you things that I don't want out there on the streets. Simple. Simple. And that's why I say you don't have to be an island, because I'll tell you something. If you're looking for a friend who has no flaws, first of all, you are not a perfect person. Why are you looking for someone who's perfect? But you need to understand what their flaws are and work around them if you can. And then if you feel like you can't work around these flaws and you can't live with some of these things, then time to go. So Rachel is saying, Carl is saying, share cooking recipes, but that's it. Right. I mean, to be honest, I think it's because I have the personality that I have, which I don't expect from everyone. I don't expect people to be the way I am. Okay? So I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just giving you my personal experiences and opinions. But because I'm the kind of person that I am, I'm able to take people in the way they are. I like to joke about this with my sister. I say, if you have a room of friends, give people different benches. You know, these are the friends who don't like to party. So why am I calling you at midnight to go for a party when I know you like to be in bed at 9? I'm just gonna piss you off, and then I'm gonna get mad for you saying no. Yeah, I already know you don't like this kind of thing. So it's important that you understand who your friends are, you know? My best friend, I'm someone who likes to go out. I like to go out. I like to have my drinks. My best friend will, if she had half of the stuff that I drink in a night, she'll pass out. She will pass out. She likes to have very little wine. She'll rather go to bed early. She doesn't like to party hard till late in the night. And I don't expect that from her, but she's my best friend. But I don't expect that from her. There are other more important things that we can do in our friendship that don't involve that, you know? So I think it's also important to know what are the important things for you in a friendship. If in a friendship, it's important for you to have a friend who wants to party with you, then maybe a person who's not a party person is not going to be your kind of friend, because it's important to you. Then there are friends who don't elevate you. It's important to have friends who elevate you. And now let's talk about that actually. Let's talk about that. First, let's see what this comment is saying. I have had a friend who always wants to know my business, but she never tells me hers. I stopped telling her about my personal life and she got mad. Some people can revenge and tell everyone your business. And then Rachel is saying, I don't even know where she lives, years down the lane. Oh, that's the other thing. Be on the lookout for those kind of friends. The one who wants to know your business, but they're not telling you their business. Where are you taking my business? And I feel like trust is built and it's also a two-way thing. So if I'm trusting you with your business, with my business, and you're not trusting me with your business, I think there's an imbalance in the relationship, okay? But I also believe that some people are sharers. I am a sharer. I like to talk about things. If I don't talk about things, I'll probably blow up. And then there are people who take their time before they share about things. One of my sisters, who's also like my best friend, is a sharer, but in her own time, you know? Sometimes she's gonna tell me something that happened weeks or months before, and I'm like, how could you not get on the phone immediately that happened and you told me? Because in that moment I didn't feel like sharing. It wasn't on my, I wasn't thinking about it, you know. Someone else is gonna get the phone immediately something happens, usually that's me, and tell the people closest to me what just happened, you know. So I think it's also important to understand that not everyone is going to be like you, and it's not fair to expect that from everyone. I'll give you another example. One of my best friends is not very good at communicating. I'm sure she's gonna be watching this, so she knows who she is. And previously, because one of my love languages is that communication and the constant, knowing that I can talk to you anytime. But I don't expect this from everyone, you know. There are particular people who I expect this from. And in the beginning of our friendship, or when our friendship was getting closer and closer, I felt like I wanted that from her. It's not that I really expected it from her, because I know she doesn't like to constantly communicate and be on the phone, and she'll talk to you once a week and she's good. Me, on the other hand, with one of my other best friends, talk every day. We like talk every day, and if we don't talk every day, I feel like something is wrong. But I kind of not expected, but wanted that from this other friend, and she couldn't give it to me. And it kind of hurt me in the beginning. I was like, why am we talking every day? You know, and here I'm seeing things that you're doing on Instagram, because you're updating your stories on Instagram. So I'm seeing that you did something interesting, something nice happened to you, and I don't know about it, but we are calling each other close friends, best friends. And so I understood that this is not her way of friendship, and I accepted that, and I stopped expecting that from her. And from that time, honestly, I have a better acceptance of our friendship, and we have a great relationship, because we understood that we have a way that we love each other, if that makes sense. Even in romantic relationships, you know, someone's going to love you, and if they don't love you the way you want them to love you, you either stay in the relationship and accept them to love you the way they know how to love, or you walk away, depending on how important that friendship is to you, you know. So Carl, I just want friends like the sitcom Friends. Carl, you're cracking me up. I mean, I watch Friends like all my life. Like, I still watch some episodes now, and yeah, that's in the movies. In the real world, there are real life issues. We don't just sit on the couch and and sit in a cafe. That cafe they used to sit in and just chat about God knows what and make jokes. Nah, there's real life, Carl, darling. Petwa is saying, you really can't force friendship. I can confirm it as a foreigner. There is that thing in the DNA that only the heart knows. When you meet, it just clicks. Thank you. Thank you. I believe this so much. I believe that friendships are also energy. I believe in energy so much. There are people who are going to give you a good energy immediately you meet them. And for me, it's not even about what they have done or how they're dressed or how they speak. It's just going to be an energy. There are people who you're going to feel good around and feel calm around and feel like you've known each other from a different lifetime. And then there are people who are not necessarily bad people, but there is no vibe. There is no click. It's just not happening. And you can't force it. Petra, I agree with you. You can't force a friendship. And I think that's very important. Someone may look like your ideal friend. Maybe you see them on social media, or maybe they are friends of friends or siblings of friends. I don't know, whichever context you meet them. And you feel like, this person could be my friend. But maybe there is no energy to tune you guys together. And that's fine. And that's fine. And that brings me to the other point. I think that we also need to accept that not every friendship is going to last a lifetime. So I'm one of those people who has a problem letting go. I I want things to last forever if they are good things, you know. So when I moved to Italy from Uganda, I tried my best to keep in touch with these people who I felt were going to be my lifetime friends. And then I think this also comes with growing up. I came to the realization that every friendship also has a season. Not every, but friendships could also have seasons. And so it's okay if a friendship has done its time, and it's not going to be the way it was anymore. When I think back and I look back at the friendship I had, for example, with my best friend in high school, we were so close. I loved her. I still love her so much. I loved her so much. I was like, oh my God, how would life be if we weren't friends? We were so close. We were so close. Sheila, I still love you. And then with time, we grew apart, and it doesn't hurt us because we understood that the friendship did its time, because nothing happened between us. But I moved countries. I had kids before her, so I was kind of like talking about kids and this stuff. And because she's such a good friend, we were very open in our conversation. She told me, Linda, you know what? I don't want to listen to your conversations about how you stayed up all night with your child barking. And tell me a little bit about how the kids are doing, and let's move on, and we would laugh about it. She'd say, you're always talking about the kids. Enough. I don't have kids. I don't understand what you're talking about. So and we still meet, we still talk, and now she's a mom, and she's like, I'm not gonna tell you about kids, let's talk about something else. I need to get my brain out of this motherhood thing, so we have a good friendship going. But our friendship changed. We don't talk every day. We could talk once in 3 months and then just pick up from where we left off. And then I also had some good friends that I used to really hang out with in Uganda, that even when I moved here, we tried to stay in touch. We texted every day, and then it came from one text a day to one text a week to one text a month to one text in 2 months. It doesn't mean that we stopped loving each other or caring about each other. I know they care about me, I care about them, but the friendship shifted. And for me, that was hard. It was hard to swallow, to look at this good friendships shift. But yeah, the friendships, they shifted. And I made new friends. I made new friends that understand the life that I'm living now. I have friends here in Italy who understand me on a whole different level. I have friends who are into content creation, so they're not going to get uncomfortable when we go out and I'm filming because I'm creating a vlog. And I like being with these people because, when we're around each other, we can talk about content creation. Friendships shift according to your life circumstances as well, And I think it's important to also understand that it's okay for a friendship to shift. If nothing bad has happened, and sometimes even something bad might happen, but the friendship has shifted. Maybe this bad thing, or this fallout needed to happen for the friendship to shift, for you people to understand that the friendship has done its time. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me see what you guys are saying down here. I'm always working to meet new people. Meeting new friends is tough. Linda, sometimes we just drift away, but fate can bring you back together. It's true. It's true. Carl, you're saying you're always trying to meet new people. You know what? My mom always said this, that the older you get, the harder it is to actually make new friends. And I've come to realize that that's true. Because I think the older you get, your priorities also in the friendships change. It's like in romantic relationships. I feel like when people get older, they become more picky. You become more picky about what you want and what you don't want. So it makes it harder. when you're younger and you're at uni, you're in high school, you're like, whatever, I can be friends with anybody as long as we can go maybe party, drink, or whatever. But when you're older, you feel the need to relate to people on a more intense level. This is my opinion. I don't know if this is for everyone. And so, yeah, it becomes harder to meet people. And then I think you're also wiser. And so you can see through the bullshit. I feel like the older you get, you can see through the bullshit. So when you see a friendship that is already bumpy, you're like, I'm not accepting that. And so it becomes harder to make friends. You're more picky and you're more aware of what you want in a friend. So if someone is not giving you that and you don't feel this vibe, you're like, bye. So it's true. Actually, my friends who are older, who are like in their 40s, say it's really, really hard to find good friends as you get older because, guys, there's so many not very nice people out there. You really don't know why people are being your friends. And that's the other thing. When you're younger, you don't have anything much. You probably don't have a career that has set off. You don't have a family. You have nothing. So people who are your friends in that time are usually your friends because they're really your friends. When you're older, you don't know, are you my friend because I'm going to connect you to a job? Are you my friend because, are you my friend because you really like me or because you want me to take you to some places or to... It becomes hard. Yeah, it's hard to make friends. But I feel like there's still hope for good friendships. I'm one of those people who believes so strongly in good friendships. Like, everybody needs a good friend. Maybe because I've been lucky with my friendships. And what about Linda? Sometimes we just drift apart. So Rachel was saying that sometimes you drift apart and and then you find each other later. Yeah, it's like, again, I keep referring to romantic relationships because for me, I feel like friendships, like platonic friendships, are as good as romantic relationships, are as serious as romantic relationships. Like, yes, yes. Sometimes your friend is going to be there for you more than your partner, your romantic partner. I'm telling you this. Actually, excuse me. People say, oh, my boyfriend or my girlfriend is my best friend. I'm not sure if I want my partner to be my best friend. I want you to be my good friend. My husband is my good friend. I want to be able to bitch about things and gossip about things and have a good laugh with my partner. But I don't know if I want my partner to be my best friend. Who am I going to run to when I'm having trouble with my partner? So, I don't know, but for those of you whose partners are your best friends, more power to you. Let's see what someone's saying. Rachel is asking, what about a fallout? You have apologized, but she never accepted and doesn't talk to you, just walks past you. Well, Rachel, that means that friendship is done. You have apologized. You have explained yourself, and they don't want anything to do with you. Girl, that friendship is over. You shouldn't have to beg someone to be your friend. Friendship is reciprocal. The love should be reciprocal. The communication should be reciprocal. The vibe should be reciprocal. If you have to beg someone to be your friend, I don't think they should be your friend to start with. So, no, that friendship is over, my friend. Caroline, Sheila was a real vibe. Yeah, she was. Sheila was a real vibe. My relationship is my best friendship. My relationship is my best friendship, to be honest. And that's fine. That's nice. I think people who find their partners to be their best friends are even lucky. It's not exactly my thing. Throughout my dating history, and now that I've been married for all these years, I don't think I can call any of my partners my best friends, to be honest. They are my very good friends. Like, me and my partners are friends. I vibe on a whole different level with my partners, with my husband. But I don't know if I can call my husband my best friend. He's my good friend. but there are things that my girl is gonna understand that my husband is not gonna understand, to be honest. So yeah, but that's just me. Okay, so it's been an hour. I always try to keep these lives around an hour, because who's gonna sit there and watch an hour of me talking about random stuff? Not random stuff, but yeah. For those who have joined this live, I'm so glad that you are here and you put in whatever input you put in. Let's wrap it up in the next few minutes. Akelo is saying, oh my God, yes, I have the same thinking about a partner being a best friend. I was on Facebook page and I said, I roll my eyes when people say, today I married my best friend, because it's not always true. I don't know, Akelo. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, because I respect everyone's personal opinion and experience. So if someone finds friendship, best friendship in their partner, like I said, more power to them. It's not my thing. It's just not my thing. So it looks like I'm not alone. So yeah. Let me see if there are any other things I wanted to talk about. I had a few notes here just to see if I'm gonna miss out on anything. Oh yeah, so advice. My personal advice. You don't have to take it. It's my way of thinking, but I'm going to close the video by giving you what I think is the key to good relationships and good friendships. I personally feel I'm in quite a position to give this advice, because I've had pretty much successful friendships, to be honest. I've fallen out with a few people here and there, drifted away from a few people, but on the general side of it, I have fantastic relationships. I keep on making new friendships, so maybe there's something that I do well. I don't know. What about male friends? Rachel, you keep bringing these conversations. Oh my God, you're giving me ideas for the next live chats I'm going to do. So in the next live chat, we're going to talk about having friends of the opposite sex, maybe a best friend who's the opposite sex. And then we're also going to talk about toxic family members. I'm going to note that down. Toxic family members, where's my pen? I'll just note that down. We're going to talk about toxic family members and having male friends as best friends or close friends. Male friends or female friends. If you're a male, having a female friend who's a close friend, can it work? I like these conversations, guys. So anyway, my advice, 1, communication. The same way people are out here talking about communicating with your partners about everything, communicate with your friend about everything. If I am your good friend, communicate with me. If I hurt you, if I say things you don't like, if I do things you don't like, tell me, tell him, tell her, talk to your friends. Communication is key for any relationship. That's 1. 2, know your friends' love languages. Know what your friend likes and doesn't like. This will help you know how to love them, and this will help them know how to love you. You should know their love languages, but you should also let them know about your love languages, you know. If your friend likes coming to your house, I don't know, at 10 in the night, and you're not comfortable with that, tell them, you know what? It would be great if you just came before 9, because at 10, I'm kind of trying to get ready for bed. Find a nice way, have a tactic, and tell them in a nice way what you like. 3, which to me is the most important thing, be the friend that you want the other person to be. People are out here talking about bad energy, toxic friends, cutting off people. Maybe you're the one who has the problem. If you can't keep any of your relationships, you've not had any successful friendship, take a minute sometimes and look into yourself. Learn things about yourself. Learn things about yourself and where you can do better. So be the kind of friend that you want others to be to you. To be honest, in the past years, I've checked myself on so many levels. And I've been able to do this from the friendships I have with other people. and seeing how I relate with them and what could be damaging to my friendship with them. And from there, I've learned ways to be a better friend, to be a better listener, to be more forgiving. Like I mentioned earlier at the start of this video, I was this kind of person who, if you want to be my friend, we can be friends, but if you want to go, you can also go. But I realized that that's already toxic, Everything, I feel like good things don't just come so easily like that. They should come naturally, like someone mentioned earlier in the comments, that there should be a natural vibe between you and this person. But also, relationships, all kinds of relationships have ups and downs. So if you're going to dump your friend at the first down that you get, then maybe you're not a good friend yourself after all. So talk about things. Understand that friendships are going to be hard sometimes. You're going to have hard conversations. You're going to disagree. And that's the other thing. People think that for a friendship to be nice, for me to be your friend, I have to agree with all your stuff. You don't have to agree with everything I say, but I also don't have to agree with everything you say. But we can disagree and still remain friends. And I think that's the beauty of many friendships. Agreeing to disagreeing diplomatically and keeping it moving, and no love is lost. That's also very important. And sometimes friendship comes fast, then you start falling in love with everything about them. Carl, we say that's a topic for another day. We're going to talk about having friendships with people and then falling in love with them or not falling in love with them. I don't know. Let's talk about that in another video, okay? Lillian, who is also my very good friend, is saying, I have a best friend for more than 10 years. He is my children's godparent. See? So sometimes you can have those platonic relationships with people of the opposite sex. And so, yeah. Mumu, my long-term friend, turned on me. She had a baby, told me of her birth by text. I haven't seen the baby in pictures, nothing. You know what? I think also we need to understand that sometimes the way we position ourselves in people's lives is not the way they position us. And this is going to be my last discussion, and then I'll have to go because then I have other things to do later. I need to organize my day. So I don't want this live chat to go on for so long. It's been so much fun. I could stay here forever. But yeah, Mumu, what you're saying for me looks like a situation of, I think you're my very good friend at, let me say, on a scale of 1 to 10, I put you at 9, but actually to you, I am at 7. And so the expectations vary. And that goes back to communication, guys. I can't say this enough. You can tell this person, I thought we were friends and I thought you would tell me about something like this. Then from their reaction, they may not tell you, no, you're not my friend like that, so I didn't feel the need to tell you. But from their reaction and from their response, you'll understand where you stand with them. I think sometimes we want to be a certain person or in a certain place in people's lives, and maybe they don't want to or they don't feel that way about us, and that should be fine, guys. We shouldn't have to force anything. I don't believe in forcing any type of relationship. If someone doesn't want you in their life, or if they want you to a certain degree, take it and keep it moving. I feel like the best relationships are the ones where the feeling is mutual. They are the best. So yeah, that's that. Mumu, 20 years that I knew her. You knew her for 20 years? As a good friend or as someone you know? And she didn't tell you about her baby. She told you by text. Some of these things are also sensitive for people. Things like childbirth, death, miscarriages, and I don't know what to tell you. I don't know. Do you think COVID has been tough on friendships? Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. COVID has been tough on friendships in a way that if your relationship was one of those relationships where your friendship is one of those where you meet and have a good laugh, and that's what's keeping the friendship close. With COVID, where we couldn't see each other, we saw who our real friends are. without me seeing you, can we still connect on a whole different level? Do we still have something to talk about if it's not about going out and making stories on Instagram and having drinks and dining or whatever it is you do when you're out there? COVID taught us a lot, by the way. And also, people checking in on each other. With COVID, with the lockdowns, people being alone, some people staying alone, they understood who their real friends were, because this person you thought was your friend was not checking up on you. They know you're on your own, but they're not even bothering to know how you're doing. And so you understood who your real friends were. Oh yeah, COVID did have an effect on friendships, guys. It did. Anyway, yeah, Mumu, that is some crazy stuff. That is some crazy stuff. If this person was your friend for 20 years and they reacted like this, I don't know what to tell you. You know what? Sometimes people are also dealing with their own things that don't have anything to do with us, but we just end up being victims of circumstances. Sometimes people are going through depressions and some mental instabilities, and they're not in the position to talk and to share and to be out there and to reach out and to communicate, and you take it personally, but they're actually going through things of their own. But my stand is still that if I'm really your friend, then you'll tell me if you're actually going through something, so that I could even possibly help you through that. So that can be a tough one to deal with. It can be a tough one to deal with. Anyway, Darren is asking, but who is a true friend? Guys, you're keeping me here. You're keeping this conversation going. Who is a true friend? I think that depends on your. It's subjective. It's different for everyone. I can't answer that question for everybody. Who is a true friend? It's like asking someone, what do you look for in a partner? Different people look for different things in a romantic partner, and so different people look for different things even in a friendship. Personally, for me, a true friend is someone who's not going to judge me and judge my decisions. A true friend is someone who's going to be there for me in all my life situations. If you're going to be my friend only when things are great, I don't think you're going to be my friend. If you're, what am I saying? I've been talking for an hour, so be patient with me. But what I was saying is, if you're going to be my friend when things are good, and when things are bad you run off, then I don't think that you're really my friend. A true friend is someone who stands the toughest times, who is able to survive the toughest times. If your friendship is able to survive the toughest times, because when things are good, guys, everybody's good and nice and everything is beautiful when things are good. You're doing well, I'm doing well. So what's the problem, you know? But when things are tough, that's when you see who your true friends are. So those who stick with you when things are tough. And then also a true friend is someone who is going to understand you. They'll understand you, and if they don't understand you, they'll still be there for you, even in that thing they don't really understand. But this is different for everyone. For example, for me, I'm very physical. I like warm hugs. I like to have a good laugh. So I need also that from my friends. But that doesn't mean that someone who doesn't like warm hugs or is not physical is not a true friend. So it's really different for everyone. I can't really, tell you that. If Facebook was around when I was at school, I'll probably be in contact with my school friends to this day. It's hard making real friends as an adult. Yeah, it is hard making real friends as an adult. We talked about that. Carl, you know what's funny? You'd think that you'd still be in touch with every friend of yours because you're that person who keeps in touch with people. But not everyone is going to reciprocate that communication you're trying to give, and so you may want to keep in touch with everyone, but you may not be able to get the same back, and so you won't be in touch with everyone, if that makes sense. So I've tried, oh my god, when I moved to Italy, I really tried to keep in touch with people, but I reached a point where I was like, okay, I can't do this any longer. So now I do keep in touch with people. I check on people once in a while, but really life gets busy, you get other priorities, and if you're not getting it back, friendships just fade away, And so, yeah, Violetta is saying, and sometimes you just have to accept and deal with the reality that sometimes you like a person more than the person likes you. Spot on, Violetta. Sometimes you're going to love someone more than they love you, which for me, I don't think is a problem. I don't think we have to love each other 50-50. Who measures love anyway? Where is the measure for love? There is no weighing scale for love. So I don't think that's a problem. If you love me enough, what I feel is enough, that's fine. That's fine. So yeah, sometimes you need to accept that maybe you're going to be more intense than someone. For example, for me, I love hard. When I love very hard. And I know that it can be too intense for some people. And I know that, I know that. And not everyone is going to be able to receive that love. Some people don't even know how to receive love. They love you, but they don't know how to express it also. So yeah, and that goes back to understanding the kind of friend you have and how they want to be loved and how they love, and taking that as it comes. Yeah. Life gets in the way too. Exactly, Carl. Life gets in the way. You can't keep in touch with the whole world. Right now, I have a job, I have kids, I have this content creation that I try to do. It's all time, so you can't keep up with the whole world. And thank God for social media, because with Instagram and all these platforms, at least you get to see what your friends are doing in their lives, and you feel like you still have that contact, So yeah. For example, this Darren Sheila who's on here was my very good friend. We are not so in touch now. She keeps up with me on social media. I keep up with her. We had a very fun time in high school. I love her. She loves me, I believe. So, but we don't keep in touch every time, but we know that we're there in each other's hearts. If your heart is big and it can accommodate as many people as the world, as they are in the world, then it shouldn't be so hard. So guys, anyway, I'm gonna read the last comment from XP Life Now. I think sometimes a friend needs to keep distance to protect themselves if you are in a prolonged negative state. They do what they can in the beginning, but can't allow themselves to be pulled down. Oh yeah. And to wrap up with that, and this time for real, this time I'm really wrapping up like for real. What XP said is true. Different people may have different opinions about this, but I think sometimes it's also okay to give each other space. Sometimes people are going through things and they need that space. They need that distance, and it's fine. It's not about you, it's not personal, but they need that space, so it's okay. If someone is going through a long depression and they need to get themselves together and you're not helping, you're not the help they need, if they ask for space, or if you realize that they need space, it's fine. I do that sometimes. Like there are people I'm constantly in touch with, but there are times I feel that they need their minute, they need their distance. I give them that. I'll spend some days without trying to reach out to them, just to give them that moment to themselves. And then when they come back, or when they reach out, or after a few days, I could be the one who reaches out all the same. I realize that we are in a better position to communicate and to get the friendship back to where it always is. So yeah. Thank you so much for those who have joined in. I'm gonna go now. This was a lovely streaming. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you're not subscribed yet, to share with your friends and family and whoever else you think would be interested in these conversations. See you tomorrow for Vlogmas. I'll probably post a short video, like YouTube shorts. I don't know if you guys have seen them. If you guys haven't seen them, they're just these short, less than 1 minute videos that we can post on YouTube now. Or I'll have another live conversation. It's going to be a public holiday next week here, so we have this very long weekend. I don't know what I'll be doing, but I'm going to have more of these conversations. I think they're so much fun and very interactive. But for today, this is it, and see you in my next one. Bye-bye.